Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. Today, I just have some random thrift lip makeovers for y'all. Not a real theme going on, but either way, I liked how all of them came out. Y'all let me know which project is your favorite, and we're going to get started right now.
I hope y'all are doing wonderful today. Here is our first project. It's a scale. It's not old or anything. I thrifted it from Salvation Army for $2.99, I believe, and it's been sitting in my stash for a while. I really enjoy making over scales. You can make them look old and rusty and crusty, but as you can see, I started off painting it white. I did absolutely no prep other than clean it and paint it white. And then I was like, no, white's not the color for this. So then I came back in with an alchemy paint in this green color right over top of the white, and it was just peeling up the paint, that first layer of paint. So I took it to my sink and washed all the paint off, and I said, we got to do a better prep than that, Bailey. So I taped up the scale face, and I'm just cutting off that excess tape with a sharp X-Acto knife, peeling that back, and then I scuffed up the surface a little bit with some sandpaper, and then took it outside and gave it 2 coats of shellac base primer, and I let that fully dry. And now we're going to come in and paint the scale. You can kind of see how it's not as glossy as it was previously. That shellac is really going to grip on to this alchemy paint. This is a chalk and limestone paint, and this is becoming one of my favorite new paints to work with. This green color is absolutely gorgeous and is going to work wonderful for transitioning into fall. If you're interested in these paints, I'm going to leave my friends Emily J. Bowen and Company's website in my description box. She sells all of this new fusion paint. It goes on buttery smooth, just like we're used to with the other Fusion all-in-one paints, and the coverage is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and get our first coat put on this scale, and working in this area, I just did the best I could to make sure all the little metal pieces are covered in this green color. I'm going to work around that little dial right there, and we did 2 coats. So after the paint is fully dry, we're going to decorate our scale sides a little bit using Millet's Pages. Y'all know I adore those mushrooms, but this has so much to choose from, and I'm going to choose the little vegetable scene because it has a pumpkin in it, and like I said, I think it will transition well into fall. So I'm just kind of creasing here and measuring the transfer out so we can get this placed on the side of our scale. I'm going to rub that transfer all over, and then I'm just going to pick a section and start lifting and rubbing at the same time. Now this transfer set is full of small detail, so you're going to have to be a little bit more patient burnishing this transfer down than you would like a larger scene, but it's going to come off. You just have to work slowly, one piece at a time. Now, once I get this part down, I'm going to show y'all something. It's just a happy accident, I guess. This paint crackled. It crackled. I don't know if it's from the shellac. I have no clue what caused this to crackle like this, but every surface I painted has this crackle on it, and it is a wonderful happy accident. I love it. So I don't know, might try to recreate this on another metal piece in the future to see if it was the shellac activating to this type of paint. I have no clue. But either way, we're going to come in with some little cutoffs and fill in the empty areas on the side of our scales. And now I have flipped the scale over, and we're going to work on this side. Now that we've finished both sides, I'm just burnishing over those transfers well with my fingers. Since it's all little pieces, you want to make sure everything is stuck down well. And now we're going to seal up this scale with some dark oil wax by Sweet Pickens. You can use this product over chalk paint, all-in-one paint, milk paint. It doesn't really matter. It is a great top coat and it's so easy to apply. You literally just dump it on your item, spread it around as evenly as possible with a disposable chip brush. Leave it on your product for about 10 minutes, or project, excuse me. Leave it on your project for 10 minutes, and then you're just going to wipe any excess oil off with a blue shop towel. The only thing you really got to worry about is fingerprints. Make sure you're careful and you're not leaving fingerprints on your project. Just go back over anywhere you've touched with that blue shop towel. And this is just going to age up that chalk paint a little bit, and it's going to seal in our transfers. Now, of course, I like patina, I like dirty pieces, so I'm going to grab this Dixie Belle Dust. This is pretty much like adding dirt to your project. I'm going to take a little fluffy small brush and just kind of pounce it in areas that I think would naturally patina and age. And this product is going to stick to the wet oil wax. So you definitely need something down for this to cling to. Once I add everything I feel like is enough, I'm going to take a fluffy large brush and dust off any excess dust. I'm going to remove that tape on the front of our scale, and the next step, I'm sorry I did not record it, y'all. It was impossible to film, but I just added a basket on top and I fed through some bolts through the basket. I put some washers up there so the bolt head wouldn't go through, and then screwed it right into the scale. I'm going to age up those screws a little bit. I just added some wax and some of that dust and just let it marinate for a little while before dusting it off. And this project is done. I do need to calibrate the scale back to 0, but I did that before I put it in my booth. I priced this for $37 and I think it is so cute. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. Here is our next project, a wooden picture frame. Artwork has been a hot seller in my booth recently, so I'm going to keep on cranking it out, and if it's selling, I'm going to keep on making it as long as it's selling, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to remove that hanging hardware, remove this protective backing, so we can work on getting that center panel out. I'm going to pry up those staples and very carefully get the glass and artwork out of this frame. We are going to be reusing that center panel, so I want to set that to the side. Here is a Temu print I just got in, and I think it is lovely. I love the stack of books, and it kind of has a dark and moody fall vibe to it. So I'm going to get it centered on this panel, and I'm going to dump too much Mod Podge on it, and we're going to get this canvas stuck down. I'm going to spread around that Mod Podge as evenly as possible, and then we're going to press the canvas into that wet medium. I like to do a half at a time so I can somewhat keep the canvas straight and in position. Then I'm going to lift up the bottom half and apply more Mod Podge, get that half laid down, and then I'm going to go over the entire canvas with my brayer to make sure everything has even pressure and that there's no air bubbles. We are going to seal the top of that canvas with a layer of Mod Podge going in a crosshatch motion. Once that is dry, we're going to flip it over and cut off the excess canvas. Then we're going to put everything back together, add a new hanging hardware and a piece to cover the back of our artwork. and I decided to not paint the frame. I felt like it matched perfectly. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. I priced it for $27. Here is the next set of projects, a set of 3 ceramic canisters. I loved the little knobs on these, the little chicken knobs. We are going to be removing those along with the seal gasket to the canister lid and set those to the side. I'm going to put that screw back in that knob so I do not lose it, and we're going to set those off to the side. Next, we are going to give everything a good scuff sand. Try to just bring some micro texture for our paint to grip onto. These were super, super shiny. I went over every surface I intended to paint with this 220 sandpaper, wiped away the surface like free of any sanding dust one more time, and then we are going to tape up the inside of the canisters so no spray paint can get inside. So these are going to be 100% food safe. I'm using some flat black enamel spray paint. This is my favorite spray paint to use. It dries in 15 minutes and I just love it. So we are going to prime these. Every surface I plan on applying milk paint to needs to have this primer down. That is a really good tip and technique. If you're wanting to milk paint ceramics, use a flat black spray paint as your primer. If you do not, the milk paint is going to fall off the entire project. If you're milk painting a wood item, I recommend using shellac as your primer so the wood doesn't soak in the milk paint. So I'm priming all of these surfaces. I'm having to let this dry and then flip it upside down to get the underneath sides of things. I just did one coat and we're going to let that paint fully dry. The next day, I'm mixing up my favorite paint combination recently. Whenever I love something, I wear it out, y'all. Y'all probably know that by now. So this combination is 2 scoops of artichoke milk paint and 2 scoops of olive Sweet Pickins milk paint. So that means I need to add 4 scoops of water. This water is just coming out of my water mister. It's room temperature, nothing special. Then I'm going to take this little whisk and mix those together very well, and I'm going to set it to the side and let it thicken for about 15 minutes. Now I'm going to remove that tape, and that saved us a whole bunch of cleanup time. There is a little bit I need to clean up in another canister, but I'll show y'all that in a later step. So now my milk paint has thickened up very nicely, so we're going to go ahead and start applying our first coat to our canisters. And y'all, this green is perfect in my opinion. I love it so very much. I'm going to try to keep my brush strokes going in one direction. The coverage is looking great just on this first coat, but it will require 2 coats to get the coverage I'm looking for. I painted everywhere I painted black. I'm going to paint with this beautiful green. Here's how our canisters are looking after that first coat is dry. We're not getting any crackle yet, but I am drying each coat with my heat gun to try to force that crackle. So here we're applying our second coat, and the coverage is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and get this coat applied to everything and then dry it with my heat gun. And y'all, look at that crackle. I got phenomenal crackle on the bottom of the canisters for some reason. The rest of the canisters got some crackle, but it was not as great as the bottom. I'm trying to show y'all the crackle right here. My camera's not wanting to focus. But either way, there's some crackle in there. So I'm going to add some transfers to these. These came out of Home Sweet Home IOD transfer book. And y'all, I'm sorry, I'm sold out of these. But I hope to have some back very, very soon. I'll update y'all when I do. So I've grabbed 3 out of there, and I'm just playing around with placement here. I thought I wanted to put it horizontally, like sideways, but I don't know. I didn't really like the way that looked, so we're going to put these vertically. And we're just going to peel off that protective backing, get these placed as straight as humanly possible. Press all over, and we're going to start transferring these down with the included transfer stick. Rubbing all over at first, and then picking an edge and start lifting and rubbing at the same time. Here I have it's just commercial grade cleaner, so it's like paint remover. I know I should be wearing gloves. Y'all do better than me, please. So here I have some of that black spray paint on the inside of my canister. So I'm just using that paint remover to get that off and to clean up that edge a little bit. This worked wonderfully to remove the spray paint on the inside, but didn't remove the glaze on the ceramic surface. Once I got the majority of the paint off, I just cleaned it well with some Windex after I got the chemicals. Whenever I was finished with the chemicals is what I'm saying. I cleaned it with Windex. So now we're going to seal up our project using that Sweet Pickens dark oil wax again. FYI, this product is food grade, food safe, so you can put it on cutting boards, anything you want to set food on or food's going to go in, this will be a perfect product to use. So I'm going to spread that around evenly onto all the painted surfaces, and then we're going to let it sit and marinate for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to wipe off any excess oil. I love using these blue disposable shop towels. You can get a 6-pack for like $12 at Lowe's, and they are lint-free, and it's just something I always keep in my workshop. Other than that, we're going to give that a little bit of time to dry, add our little chicken knobs back to our lids, and then this project is done. Y'all, I love how these turned out. They were a very, very quick seller in my booth. I priced them for $40, so maybe I should have went a little higher than that since they sold so fast. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one down in the comments. And that is all I have for y'all today, my friends. I really hope y'all enjoyed today's projects. Y'all be sure to let me know which project is your favorite down in the comments. And if you got any inspiration from today's video, hit that like button. Definitely leave a comment down below and consider subscribing if you have not already. I appreciate y'all spending your time with me today. Be sure to hop over to my website and check that out if you haven't already. I hope to have some more items listed up there this week. So y'all be sure to be on the lookout for that, and I will talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.